So at first it's Fيرجي or Fergie or what exactly? Because
Fergie.
in Tunisia you're Ferjani.
Fergie. Aye. توا اسمي فرجاني. No, it's Fergie. Legally, my name is James.
Okay.
But I was called Fergie since actually before I was born. My parents, when my mother was pregnant, they started to call me Fergie.
So why they chose James?
James is my family. Like I think there are like 8 or 9 Jameses in my family.
So
my father's name is James.
Something?
My son's name is James. My grandfather was James. You know, it's like the family name.
And you are Lakers fans for LeBron James also or not?
Absolutely not. Never.
You are Curry
I'm a Celtics fan. I hate the Lakers.
So before start, I know we can do an interview in Tunisian. After I think 6-7 months, we are sure we can do an interview in Tunisian.
Inshallah.
You don't need English,
Inshallah.
you don't need French. Just a word with Tunisian for your fans now. We start with something in Tunisia. Aslama.
عسلامة إن فرحان برشا نكون هون في تونس فرحان نخدم مع الكلوب
Your teacher will be proud.
نقرأ كل يوم شوية
Your teacher will be proud of you after this.
تعرفوا لغة صعبة برشا
لغة
عربية
لهجة
عربية لهجة
عربية سهلة بارابور
عربية واللهجة لغة ولهجة أي I learned Russian in like 2-3 months.
Okay. So after I think after 6 months we will do another interview, but Tunisian interview.
Okay.
In Medina.
In Medina.
Yes, Medina.
In the Medina. في Medina.
Old Medina.
Inshallah. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I go every week. كل جمعة نمشي للمدينة.
كويس day. Some tea. You drink some tea in Medina or coffee. You are a coffee fan.
I drink coffee at home and at some bars. I have tea there. Yeah, I have tea. But I go to. There's an old man. There's a bookbinder.
Okay.
Who's very good there in the leather district. So I bring like old paperback books and he makes very beautiful. And I go to the 3 masjid to Zitouna and Hamura up just right next to Zitouna. And then there's a very old one over by the entrance to Bebjdid. It was like, I think the building was Byzantine.
Okay.
But it was then built as a mosque in the 1200s and then 1600s. It's a very old, beautiful one.
Okay.
So there's some, of course, and I like to just walk around.
Okay, you go with me to another way. I want to start with another thing, but now let's start with this. How you pass your day in Tunisia? A normal day.
A normal day.
And a special day, because for Club African fans and for football fans, the match day is
a special day.
So let's speak about normal day.
A normal day, I do mostly the same things. I do jiu-jitsu every day.
Okay.
So I go, right now I train in Shargia.
Okay.
With a very good team there. I've done it for a long time. So either in the morning or middle of the day, I train maybe 2 hours. Yesterday my wife was in Jerba, so I trained twice, so 4 hours. It's like most guys, they get in trouble when their wife leaves. Me, I do more jiu-jitsu, you know. But I wake up, I wake up pretty early, usually. I try to wake up with Fajr. I hang out with my wife, my son, my 3-year-old lives here. And then, I'll go train, and I have, there's a lot of projects we're working on. So I have meetings.
We'll speak after a bit about.
Yeah, we can speak about that. So I have meetings, usually 1-2 meetings a day. And if I have time, some days of the week I play golf. I play a lot of golf.
Your day is a special day for Club Africa. We will pass it with you. So people will see how you prepare yourself.
Today is different because it's not in the Radis.
It's not local game. Yes.
So I think it's more predictable if it's a home game, because it's like I know where I'm going. I know how long it takes to get there. I know the people I'm going to see on the way. This is like, I've never been to this.
We will live all this together today.
Yeah.
We will see all this together today. People can see how you pass your special day with Club Africa. So Now,
But usually if there's a match, it's one of the only days where I'm not doing anything else. You know, it's like...
The match is
Yeah, it's the thing. I'm usually not working out. Maybe I lift weights in the morning or something. But I'm not going in training. I'm not having meetings. It's all about the match. It's all about the match. Especially, I mean, this is a really exciting one today.
What made you move to Tunisia? For sure, aside from our very good food. What made you?
That's part of it. A lot of things. A lot of things. Look, myself and my wife, we didn't want to live in the U.S. anymore.
Okay.
In general, I think for a long time we thought about that, and it really became time, especially after what was happening in Gaza. I just couldn't live there anymore. So when we thought about where would we move, it was kind of like a list of things we would look for.
It was when exactly you came to Tunisia?
Almost exactly a year ago,
Okay.
last November.
After the October problem in Gaza?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, which again, to me at that point, it became like, I don't even want to buy things in the United States. I don't want to contribute to that economy.
I can't live with you more.
Yeah. No, for real. So it was like a list of things we would look for, right? Like, at that point, I knew that I wanted to become involved with Islam, right? So I wanted to go to a Muslim country.
Okay.
So immediately that narrows the list of where we would go. And then, do I speak the language somewhere, right? I speak French. Very comfortably, not perfect, but very comfortably. My best friend from childhood growing up in Brooklyn, he's lived here in Haq al-Wad since 2013, 14, for a long time. I've lived on the Mediterranean Sea before. My grandmother was in the south of France. My wife's family is in Sicily, a lot of them. So we lived there for like 3 months. So it's like I know kind of the region and the feeling of the region. And it's like, to me, it's like away from the West, but close enough that I can still see anybody I want to see. They can come visit easily, but I don't have to be in Europe or in the US. Super beautiful, has a really rich history. Obviously, I could tell it had like interesting sport culture, because that matters to me. And I had friends here already. So it was kind of like, let's go there and see what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
After 1 year, what it's like? You were settled for good?
It's a magical place. Inshallah, I'd like to stay here. I'd like to stay here, primarily here, for a long time. Guys,
I think even them, they are happy in Tunisia.
They're very happy. I'm waiting for my big dogs to come. I need to get some land. Dogs, go on. No.
For me, I'm so happy your big dogs are not here.
No, they would be outside somewhere.
What do you think? You will settle for good in Tunisia here?
I want to settle here for good, yeah. This is our plan. It's an amazing place. It's a beautiful place. I like the... it's a slower feeling than somewhere like, New York or a big city. But it's also not, for many years I lived in the country, like in the middle of nowhere. And there's more activity than that. The food is beautiful, the sea is beautiful, people are friendly and welcoming and real. They're real with you. There are like funny things that you have to figure out, I think, like any other place. There are games that you have to play. But that's part of the fun of living anywhere. And I think it's been really special to explore the history of Tunisia too. And both just in terms of like Carthage and everything that preceded the ancient world, and then the Islamic history, which I'd like to learn more about. I know like Zitouna has some of the deepest history of any university or any religious institution on earth.
Exactly.
And there's even a mufti I know in the UK, but he's in the Maliki madhab, and he's talked a lot about how some of the like amazing information and literature that's in Zaytuna.
From Zaytuna.
Yeah, and some of it actually it's hard to access for the rest of the world, and I'd love to see more of that and learn about it. But so obviously Islam is an important piece of it for me, and then now we have this relationship with the club, and with kind of sports in this country in general, right? Because I think actually this is a country that is really fascinated by sport and really invested in sport, but also doesn't have as much infrastructure and as many resources in sport as it should have. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And I don't just mean like financial opportunity. I mean like opportunity to make things...
Opportunity to grow up also.
Yeah, to develop things, to make things better. You know, I think there are some health issues here in terms of just access to resources and good food and good athletic programs. You know, and too many people smoking all the time. Young people smoking all the time. I smoked. I did all that. You see me with cigars at the matches, you know. But I just do that once a week, by the way. But
just for the match?
Yeah, the cigar is just for the match. Yeah. Sometimes at the end of a golf tournament.
So stressful, the match for you, huh?
Yeah, just to have... everybody else is smoking cigarettes, so I'm not going to do it.
We speak about Club Africa being the most important thing you have here in Tunisia.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, how do you love this club? How do you choose this club? And why?
Well, I've told this story a few times.
I know you told the story a few times, but I know you will give me something special today.
Yeah. As I said, the first day I was in Tunis, the first night, I went out with friends. It
was on November.
In November.
23. Yes,
around
November
that.
23.
Right around then, yeah. The end of November.
Yes, okay.
And I went out in La Goulette with my American friend and his Tunisian friends. And they were, you know, I think I was just talking, I brought up sports. I said, you know, what do you have? What are the teams here? What are people interested in? So they were clubbists. So they're like, oh, it's Club Africain. And they showed me the banners from the Curva Nord for Palestine, for Gaza. So that was the first thing that really struck me, was like the really incredible artwork that they made. And the fact that this support for Palestine was such a big part of the culture of the team. And then I was told about the history of the team, which I've already created controversy by speaking about this, about how the team was essentially created as without the permission of the French. And so I said, well, I'd like to go to a match. And I think some weekends went by and I couldn't go this week, I couldn't go that week. And I finally went, my friend who's here went with me. I don't remember what the day was, but by then I had met, and this is where Hamouda Ben Ammar came into it. I had met him by then, and so I asked him, you know, how do I attend a match? Because I guess you couldn't go in the virage because you need to have like a pass and. You
don't know how you can
the process,
enter the stadium.
No, in the U.S. you go on like a website and you buy the ticket and it's easy. It was more complicated. So it was Hamouda Ben Ammar who gave me a ticket to the loge, and I went to the first match. And again, it was just like the energy was way beyond anything you experience in like American sports, except for the really the most special games. And this was not a great game, right? It ended in a draw that Club Africain really should have won, and it was the end of the international competition for them. It was not a great day, but even on that kind of day, the excitement and the energy in the stadium was much higher than what you. And the stadium, remember, that's not full. Was much higher than being in an American football stadium that has 90,000 people in it. There was still more passion in that building. And that I could see from the beginning. And and you would see the Palestinian flags everywhere. And again, I understand that that's everywhere in Tunisia. That's Espérance too. That's Stade Tunisien, that's Beja, that's, you know, it's Tunisia. There's a long history of solidarity with Palestine.
And I think you are involved in this Gaza problem and everything from you say to me, from 13 years or so more. And here in your house, I see the something of Gaza everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not when you come to Tunisia you are involved on this problem.
No, it's like I said, it's part of why I came to Tunisia. And this was another thing, of course. You know, when I was talking about where I chose to go, I only wanted to move to a country that did not recognize Israel. That was really important to me. As I grew older and I had access to some resources and money, I've been very supportive of the sort of pro-Palestinian movement in the U.S.
Okay, let's go back to the last season. I think it was hard for Club African fans, and it was hard for you also. How you feel the last season and how you feel the end of the last season?
Well, what I could tell, I was just learning about everything, and I could tell that this was a club with a really rich history, and I could tell this was a club that had millions of people who were extremely passionate about it. Like, you know, I could think of clubs in the US or Europe that are like this, but that there had been a long time since they had had success, and there was a lot of frustration there, and that there might be issues with administration and issues with finances, and I thought it was really too bad, but I didn't know that there was any opportunity to do anything about it. I just thought, well, hopefully it's like any other sport. Teams have ups, they have downs, and I'll be here for a long time, inshallah, and we'll see this team do well, and you know, we'll have fun with that. But I think people who knew me, they knew that I had gotten interested in the club, and they knew that I was interested in the business of sports in Tunisia, because I'd even met the Minister of Sport not about the club, but about.
It's after your deal with Club Africa, I think you met it.
No, we met well before that. The picture was about, we were meeting about nothing to do with football.
So you met the minister, I think, and you are interested in sports, and after you are interested in Club Africa, because my next question is when and who is the one who chose you and who tell you must go to Club Africa and to help the team?
Yeah. So which question first? Okay. Well, I understood when I got here and decided that I wanted to live here. Not just when I first got here, what's it like? Do we like Tunisia? Once we decided we really love Tunisia, we want to stay in Tunisia, I understood that if you're not retiring, or if you're not marrying someone who's from Tunisia, if you're going to stay in Tunisia, you have to do some business in Tunisia. You have to invest, or you have to open a business. And so for me, in my life, mostly my business has been about sports, or actually coffee. I used to run a cafe. I started to explore what are the opportunities here. And that was when I met the Minister of Sport, again, through just like mutual acquaintances. And we talked more about philanthropy, about, you know, the possibility of helping build like athletic facilities or academies for youth in different parts of Tunisia, new fields.
And it's going on now, or it's stopped?
Yes, I hope to. There was a long list of projects that were available to get involved in. So I think, for me, I'm always kind of interested in. I don't want to direct that conversation, right? I don't want to be a foreigner who comes in and says, "This is what needs to happen here." I'm more interested in having the people in Tunisia tell me where I can be helpful. And so, you know, when it's made clear to me what kind of project I should assist in, that's what I'll do, right? We talked about like soccer fields in different inner city neighborhoods in Tunis. We talked about, what's that?
TV stations?
No, that's all over the internet.
Yes, the TV station.
Yeah,
the TV
that's
station.
all. I've never talked about anything to do with the TV station. I think it's a great idea. I think it should happen in some capacity, whether I did it or somebody else did it. But I've never talked about that. It's one of these things on the internet that somebody made up. But in terms of philanthropy, I was saying, I'm just kind of waiting for like a good indication from people, even in the Tunisian government, what would be the most helpful. And I'm working on setting up a foundation based in Europe, because I think in Tunis, we don't have foundations in the same way. So I'm working on setting up a foundation, like Ans Jabr, I think, started a foundation in Switzerland, so that I can help those kinds of projects. And then here, then there are business projects, right? So I am in the process of working on opening a gym, which will be focused on martial arts. As I said, I do jiu-jitsu. It will be combat sports, right? Boxing, Muay Thai, and sort of strength and conditioning. I am looking into sportswear and apparel.
All is about sports.
All is about sports, yeah. We're looking at even potentially promoting combat sports, like actual events, right? Fights.
There is other team in Tunisia, they call you for help, for a sponsorship.
No. So that was, what happened was, people knew I liked Club Africain, right? And people knew I was interested in the business of sports. I think I had even said to some friends, I would love to invest in a football team. Then I found out, well, you can't invest in a football team in Tunisia because they're all associations. They're not société. It's not a business.
Yes.
But I was interested in getting involved in some way. But I didn't ask a lot of questions or follow up, because I like Club Africain, and as far as I was concerned, they probably had their situation sorted out, and I had nothing to do with it. So I think they got to a point in the springtime where there was a big problem with debt, and there was a problem with finances, and somebody from the club administration, from Heikel's team, made contact with a man who works for me here, a Tunisian man who works for me here.
Okay.
And again, he used to be a businessman in Tunis, so I think people know people. It's a small country. And so they made contact with him and said, look, there's an opportunity to sponsor the team, and would you like to have a meeting about it? So President Heikel, he came and spoke to me. And the first thing for me was, forget about the business opportunities and the sponsorship. The first thing for me was literally just the opportunity to help the team and put it in a better position to win.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going exactly. Yeah. Do you think your support is all in, no matter, because we speak a little bit about investment, we speak about love of Club Africain.
Yeah.
It's your support will be
at this
all
point,
in, no matter, or after 2-3 years, it's already an investment and it will be conditional by the club's performance. You will be all the day here for Club Africain, no matter the result, or you need the result to stay here and to support Club Africain years and years.
Well, to support the club, look, I'm going to
support the club financially.
Yeah. I don't think it would make sense for the club, for the success of the club, for me to say, I'm going to support the club financially no matter what. If it's being horribly managed, and they're signing bad players and getting rid of youth, and money is disappearing, then I'm doing a disservice to the club and to the fans if I just give them money, right? So of course there's conditions, but the conditions aren't based on me making a ton of money, or on having to win 2 trophies every year or something like that. I think my support, my intention is to be supportive of the club for a long time, and as much as I can influence things positively without interfering. That's what I'd like to do, right? I think there's a role for someone like me to say, I'd like to support the club so the club has resources, so we can grow the youth program, so we can improve our facilities, so we can pay the staff and improve the staff as time goes on, and leave it at that. And if we see mismanagement and problems in the structure and governance, we can talk about that and say, look, we're not sure the direction this is going. But I'm not going to go to the point of saying, oh, I don't like what the coach did today. We need to start this player instead of that player. Oh, I don't want that assistant coach. You need another assistant coach. Like, you can't interfere on that kind of level because then you're going to create a system of distrust and just a mess. Look, if we see that there's, that a lot of money has been lost and the success on the field is not, and there's not success on the field and the programs aren't developing well, then I think we would want to come in and say, we have to change something. But not day to day, week to week. I'm not going to try to do someone else's job, and I'm not going to try to put pressure on someone. For instance, they said this whole issue with the virage. It's not my decision. They're saying on Facebook, like, oh, I told them to close the virage. But I have absolutely no place in that discussion. This is about like Tunisian politics and culture, right? It's not my place to come in and say that. I said what I had to say about it. I think it's too bad when it closes. I love the Ultras. I think they should get together and support the team because we have an opportunity to have a great season. And if there's anything I can do to help, I'd love to help. But it's not my decision.
I just want to go to some project. We can have a new stadium for Club Africa?
That's a huge question. I couldn't sit here in this chair and answer it for you. I don't know what that costs. I don't know how you receive permission to do it. I don't know who's in charge of it.
You think about it.
Would I be interested in supporting something like that? Yeah, of course. It's a great idea. But it's like, I don't know, does it cost $3 million or does it cost $500 million? I don't know. I think there's a spectrum, right? Like in the US, a stadium is one way, and right now here in Tunis, it's another way. And somewhere in the middle is the ideal. In the US, it's like going to the circus, right? It's like there's 50 boutiques, and you can eat sushi, and you can eat like,
it's not a football
high-end cuisine, and there's a music show, and there's, people, 50 Megatrons all over the place. It's really excessive.
And in
right?
Tunisia, there is nothing.
It's decadent. In Tunisia, you can't get a sandwich. I'd like to see something in between. Maybe.
You tried this sandwich?
What's that?
You tried this sandwich in the stadium in Tunisia?
Yeah. It's okay. It's not the best Tunisian sandwich.
Oh, for sure.
All sandwiches in Tunis are good. Every sandwich in Tunisia is good. It's the best sandwiches anywhere in the world except Philadelphia. And I don't even like Philadelphia, but they have the best sandwich in the world. Otherwise, Tunisian sandwiches are the best. But what I'm saying is if you had a stadium where you had maybe 4 boutiques, one at each corner, a little bit of entertainment at halftime for kids, a couple of nice things to eat. Makhloob over here, a cafe, and a section where the ultras can do their thing and have their energy, but in a safe and controlled way, and sections where people want to bring their wife and where people want to bring their children. This is the environment I'd love to see. So whatever we can do to help make that happen, whether it's in Rades, whether it's in Mensa, whether it's in a brand new place that we haven't heard of that myself and other people invest in helping make happen. I would be interested in those sorts of things. But can I sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm going to build a stadium for I don't know.
And for sure, the Facebook statement will be after this interview. You say this, okay?
I'm buying Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm building the Superdome in Tunis, and I'm whatever it is. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm buying Messi and Ronaldo tomorrow, and then I'm bringing Pele back, and it's like
we put this on the teaser.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to Club Africa, and this season, management and technical staff are being so careful about the club's goals for this season.
Yeah,
saying it's a transitional time, and we are not playing for a cup or for a title this year. Are you with them in this?
I don't think, I wouldn't say we're not playing for a title, right? And I don't think they would say that either. I would say that it's not the only goal, and it's not an expectation, right? Like of course, you want to win every match, and you want to win every trophy you can win, because that's why we go on the field. It's why it's why the games are played. But we understand that, we could have come in and spent way too much money on new recruitments right now this year, and gone and won a trophy, and had no youth system, and had no investment for the staff for the years to come, and had no investment in the training center. And won a trophy and said, okay, bye-bye, and then have 10 more years where you win nothing. This is a bad outcome, I think. I think everybody would rather see improvement this year so that we have many, many years of many, many trophies. And that means that it always comes back to developing the youth program first. And the governance of the club, so that it's very clear who does what, who is in charge of what, and that those people are professional and honest and efficient in what they do. So that's the most important thing. Do I think it's possible to win a title while we do that? Yes. And that's the goal. Of course that's the goal.
I think the strategy is not just for football. I see you a lot in the basketball team, and also your first title here in Tunisia with Club Africain was the Tunisian Cup with the basketball team. So it's important that I speak with basketball team player. They say Fيرجي is our like friend. He's coming. He's coming for the training, and he's coming and he supports us. So the basketball team also is important for you.
Yeah. No, it is. Well, as I said, I'm a fan of basketball in the U.S. My father is invested in an NBA team, actually, in Atlanta.
In Atlanta? Okay.
He's he's a part of the ownership group of the Hawks. So it's whatever. There's some history in my family with that, and I think it has a lot of potential as a sport here in general, and on the African continent in general. I think probably the greatest talent on earth in all sports is on the African continent, whether North Africa or Sub-Saharan, and it's just a matter of development and popularity. So I think we could see a day where basketball is maybe not as popular as football, but very close in 10 years. I don't know as much about handball and volleyball. I'm not familiar with them in the same way. So I'd like to be. I'd like to understand it more. But basketball I know. And so it's easy to step in and watch the quality of play. And I'd like to, it was really nice to see that, to have that introduction, to see them win the Tunisian Cup, but to understand that we had not won the league. And that it was Monastir who had beat us. So
for years and years, Monastir won the league.
Yeah. So that's something that's important to me, is to change that.
You want to do it this year?
Yes.
So we will see some stars in Club Africain for the rest of the season, because we see some NBA players, they come, not the stars NBA player, but some NBA players come to Tunisia to play last year's and the year before.
Yeah, so American players. But again, it's not my job to decide who comes, right? It's up to the president of the basketball club, and what comes with that. Now, it's my job to provide the budget, and help make sure that the right people are making decisions about that budget.
And you are okay to provide the big budget for a good player for the rest of the season?
Well, the budget I provide to the club is for Club Africain. You know, it's up to the management of Club Africain what happens with that. Well, of course, I speak to the basketball team about what's going on, and I'm interested in what's going on. Yes, I'm interested in being supportive of success with the basketball team, but it's not my decision. How many dinars are spent here or there, right? In the end of the day, it's the management of the team who makes those decisions. Yeah.
Okay. Before going, you say it's not my decision. The money go here or here or here. Fيرجي today is the supporter, is the sponsor of Club Africain, but without any name in the t-shirt, without anything. Yeah. And I see on your Instagram stories, you will launch a new brand like G. G, it's James, I think it's so clear, but the II, it's about what exactly?
It's not necessarily James, it's a few things.
I try.
Well, look, we are developing we're developing the branding for our project, right? And so I didn't want to come out too fast, too early, and slap something on a jersey.
It will be.
Yeah.
it will be your new project and your new brand, G. It will be on the jersey of Club Africa in some weeks or in some months.
Inshallah.
Sure.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes, my brand. Our brand will be represented in the sponsorship in the club and on the kits. But I wanted to finalize the aesthetics, the presentation of that with our, we have a team in Tunis and we have a team in New York who are part of developing that brand. And we wanted that to be really well put together before we rolled it out. And we've teased things here and there. No, we had a good friend of mine who's a very good boxing coach. He's British, actually. He's visiting me here right now. And we just had one of his fighters who we've helped support for a few years. He had a world title fight, an IBF world title fight in Germany. He lost, but it was, he didn't lose. He lost the decision. It's boxing. Even Jake Paul tweeted that he didn't lose, actually, that it was a terrible decision. But we sponsored him. And we sponsored a Tunisian jiu-jitsu competition, or a Tunisian athlete in a jiu-jitsu competition in Abu Dhabi, and we'll be sponsoring another Tunisian athlete in a jiu-jitsu competition.
And we can see you
in November.
Sponsoring some Olympic Tunisian player.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, this is what we want to be involved in promotion and management of athletes for sure.
Okay.
But the exacts of what's it called and what does it look like, we need a couple more weeks to finish that off. Because look, we wanted to do it right, and it wasn't, as I said, it was never about making money to me. If I make more money, I can,
for sure you will be happy.
I'll be happy. And I can support the club with that, because I've said this many times, I have enough money for myself in my life. Alhamdulillah, I was incredibly blessed with the resources that I was given in this life. I don't need any more money. I will never need any more money. So any money that I make in my life is for me is about supporting projects that really matter, and I mean before the club. I mean Palestine. I mean social justice in the United States, because I come from there. I mean
in Africa also, I think, because we're in Africa
now. No, now I am, but I mean over my life, I've lived there. Yes. So it's things. I mean, and then helping. My wife is looking at getting involved with centers for autism in Tunis, for instance. Things like this are the most important thing. And then, if I can make money that help develop things that are fun and cool and make people happy, like Club Africain, like different sports projects.
Just I want to...
Like coffee, things that are fun. Then that's what I'm trying to do if I make more money. So
I see you in some competition.
So great. Yeah. The barista competition. Yes. I was judging.
You were judging. I want to ask you about this.
It's been
on Facebook they say, who is this? He's in everywhere. Why? He's in football and he's in coffee judging.
Because I used to run a cafe and I was trained as a specialty barista. I have a commercial machine here in the house. And I bring coffee in from different roasters all over the world.
Here, I want to ask a question. After your investment in Club Africa, you have a contact from other teams, from second division teams, from not biggest team in Tunisia. They want to get some sponsorship.
I haven't had contact. No.
And if you have this contact after your brand opening, you can invest in other teams, or for sports teams, it's Club Africa, just Club Africa.
I think it depends. I could imagine, it's two things, right? So I think if there are businesses that we're involved in that kind of go across the board, like let's say, I used this example before, let's say we created a sports drink. I'm not creating a sports drink. 100%, I am not making a sports drink. That's why I'm using it as an example. If I did that, and I had this relationship with Club Africain, but they wanted to sell the sports drink in Monastir and in Gab. Sure, of course we would do that. So in that, from that capacity, if we start sports businesses that are just generally involved, I would do that. And then secondarily, I think if there are smaller teams that really don't have anything to do with Club Africain in a competitive way, then we could get involved. But I would not want to be involved with a club that was competing against Club Africain, especially in football, because it's too messy. But you know, if there's a really successful basketball program in a smaller city somewhere that's doing a lot of good for the community of that city, of course we'd like to be involved in things like this. You know, but I'm not investing in Etoile, you know, and I think they're cool, and I think their supporters are cool.
Some Facebook statements say Etoile try to get money from you.
No, I heard
Etoile or Sfax or something like this, or Stade Tunisien.
After I made the deal with Club Africain, I heard that there were other clubs that also had debt problems, that you know, the same time.
But there is no official contact.
No. You saw like fans on Facebook being like, "Why didn't he give us money?" Because I didn't know you had debt, and because I wasn't a fan. You know, I was a fan of Club Africain. So people talk to me about Club Africain because they knew I liked Club Africain.
Before going to supporter of Club Africain, it's something so important for you, I think. I want to ask you about other sports in Tunisia. If you know, we have a good team of hockey in Tunisia, and a new team in Tunisia. I think you are a big fan of this sports. Yeah,
well, I've heard about that, and that the team was training, I think, in France and Switzerland.
Yes.
I played hockey through college. I'm a fan of the Boston Bruins. Like very fanatical about it. And I think it's probably the sport I was the best at playing too. So when I found out that there was a team, I'm really interested in that and in helping find ways to support that, the growth of that sport here. That would be super cool to me to see that, you know, Tunisia have like the first like successful hockey team out of Africa.
You were just the best, or you want to be?
I have no idea.
You want to be a national team player in this?
No. I'm old, man. I'm old. I'm 40. You know, I was a goalie, but
Peter Cech is just going for this sports now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I would love to play on the amateur level here. I still have my pads. And it's a part of, actually, it helped my jiu-jitsu because you get flexible from hockey. No, but I would love to see it develop. Any of the sports that I loved, right? I think the sports I've been most involved with as an athlete have been hockey, baseball, combat sports, and haltérophilie, weightlifting. I used to coach and compete. Not like bodybuilding, but like snatch and clean and jerk. And so to the extent that I can help those sports develop here, I'm very willing to, because I know about them more. I don't know how popular baseball would be here. I love baseball. I love it. But like, realistically, can I help advance baseball very much in Tunisia? I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong, right? And I know a guy over there who would love to help too. We played in college together. But hockey, I think there already is a team. So I need to find out more about it. But I would love to support it. I would love to support having there be places to play here, and youth teams and youth programs, and combat sports, because I think, honestly, I think there's some tough dudes out here in Tunis, and in a small place. I mean, there's a great legacy of boxing here, and our jiu-jitsu team is really top notch, and so it's not that far off from having a really good MMA presence from here. And I've been involved in MMA for, you know, some years now. I have a lot of contacts in the U.S. and around the world in MMA, and I'd love to be part of developing that. I think I've said before, there's no reason that Tunisia can't be like Dagestan. There's a long history of warriors from Carthage, you know.
I know good about our story.
Yeah, I'd love to see that develop here, and that's something I still compete in myself. So, yeah, not at the high level, but I think, but yeah, good level, and I think Tunisians in general. I think this could be a place not only that is developing good fighters, but that's hosting really interesting events and competitions that people from around the world can come be a part of. So to see hockey, combat sports develop here, especially, you know, again, I'd love to see baseball develop, but I don't know if people are going to understand it. You know,
Okay.
it's a weird sport.
With the Club Africa supports and the other team supports every day.
The other teams, you mean?
When you see them, face to face, the other team support, how it go with them?
All of my interactions with club supporters, with any fans of any team, have been really good in Tunis. I think I don't want to like talk too much about the way I think I am, because that's up to other people to interpret me. But I think I'm honest, and I think I'm direct with people, and I'll talk to anybody. So I think that people recognize that, and I think that most people recognize that I'm sincere, so that when I say that I'm interested in, when I say that I support Palestine, when I say that I'm interested in supporting the country in general, sports in general in the country, not just the club, I think fans of the other clubs mostly understand that. There are some people who are very fanatical, and they're mostly on the internet, you know, and they say I'm like what? Like a spy, or you know, or
I'll go here.
Or you know,
a lot of rumors are.
Just
tell me the funniest one you heard.
I mean, the one I mostly see is that I'm like a gay Zionist spy. You know, don't put that on the, but like, okay, it's really crazy, some of the things these people say. No, but people say I'm like a U.S. spy, or I'm an Israeli spy. I'm like, bro, you pay attention to anything I've done in my life. It's really crazy to say something like that. I've heard rumors that there was the week I was buying Cristiano. There was the week I was building a new stadium. Then I'm starting a TV station. They're always trying to stir trouble. But it's just a few people on the internet. When I see Taraji supporters in the street, it's nice. We laugh, you know. Someone says like Taraji Adawla, Ifriqi Adawla, you know, and we hug, we say hello. They say, no, you're a good guy. I say, good luck. I hope we beat you in the derby. It's mostly good fun, right? Because I don't hate those fans. I don't hate the other teams. I've said this before too. I want every club in Tunis to do better than they're doing now. I want Tunisian football and Tunisian sports versus the rest of the world to be stronger. I want the league to be stronger. I want the stadiums to be nicer and fuller. That's what I want. So my experiences with them are nice, and then with the club is, of course, man, it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love from all ends, and I really appreciate that. And I think people appreciate that I have respect for everybody, no matter where they're at.
In this part, about respect with everybody, I think the people of the other team are a little bit not happy from your statement, your Instagram stories sometimes. You are a little bit like a fan or your official Club Africa. They want to understand this. You are a fan of Club Africa or you're official in Club Africa, because some statement, like some stories, like they provoke the other teams, like all of this.
I was watching a match, and it was an interesting match, and I said, look, you know, I made a comment about a goal scored by Etoile a couple weeks before. I said it was the best goal I've seen all year. I watch the other matches. When we're not playing, when the club is not playing, I watch the other matches. And I said, Jargis win a match. It was an upset. They weren't supposed to win. And they did a good job. And I'm having fun. Of course I'm having fun. You know, I went to, after the draw with Sfax, I went here in Sidi Bou Said, and there was a car full of Taraji supporters out there. And I walk out and they're like, basically telling me like, oh, you draw with Sfax, they're crap, you know, you guys are nothing, you know. So, and then it was just after that, I see the Jargis match, and so I was like, oh, Jargis.
It's a reaction. So.
Yeah, but this is the point, right? Like, it's the same way in the U.S., whether I have fans who are like, friends who are fans of like the teams in Philadelphia, or the Lakers, or or the Yankees. Like, I hate the Yankees. And I grew up. We have the Yankees and the Mets in baseball. I'm a fan of the Mets, and this is what makes being a baseball fan in New York fun. Actually, is that like the teams hate each other, In terms of on the field, they hate each other. And then, but it's your brother and your mother and your sister and your coworker and your best friend who roots for the other team. And so it makes your day more interesting. You know, it's not just everybody going along doing the same thing. I think I said in another interview, like maybe my best friend I ever had, who's passed away now, he was a Yankee fan, you know, and we used to love to go to games together to give each other a hard time. I enjoy that.
You are supportive. You are a fan of Tunisian team.
The national team.
Yes, the national Tunisian
Yeah,
team.
of course. I don't root for the U.S. team, and I don't root for European teams. So I like to see any teams from the global south do well. And now I'm in Tunis, and you know I support the people of Tunis. I support the state and the infrastructure here, all the projects. So of course I mean, if you asked me of any national team, which national team in football I would support the most, now it's Tunisia.
You know, there are a lot of financial problems in Tunisian team. And you have a new brand. We can see you like sponsor of Tunisian team.
Nobody talked to me about it.
And if they talk?
I have to see. I don't know. But I'd love to see it do well. I actually, I wanted to go and see the African Cup when it was going. It was too complicated to figure out how to get to a match.
Yes, for the Tunisian player in Tunisia and for the African Cup. There is one in February and one in December in Morocco.
But I mean, like when the championship was going on last year, I really wanted to go and see Tunisia play, but I couldn't schedule it right.
Next one will be in Morocco in 25.
Yeah.
For sure you will go, I think.
Yeah, inshallah. I'd love to see that.
With the Tunisian jersey and everything.
Yeah, of course. No, and I support, generally, if it's international competition now, I would support Tunisia and Russia above all other countries.
For you, right now, you watch the Tunisian team, you watch the teams in Tunisia. For you, who is the best player you see it here in Tunisia now, for 1 year?
The best player?
Yes, the best football player here in Tunisia.
Oh man, that's hard to say. I can't answer that.
No, you can.
No, I can't.
No, you can.
No, I can't. I can't answer that question. I can't answer that question. It's not fair. It's not fair to answer that question.
Okay.
With the relationship I have to the team and all that, I can't say one's better than another, is better than another, is better than another.
The best player in Tunisia is in Club Africa or is another team?
Of course he's with Club Africa. Yeah. Of course.
Just before ending this interview,
I think the national team would do better if they had more Club Africa.
How?
I think the national team would be more successful if they had more players from Club Africa.
Like who exactly?
I just think they would be more successful.
You are a really Club African fan. So before going, just I want to see what is going now in Mjaz El-Bab.
This is right now?
Right now in Mjaz El-Bab, they are waiting us like this.
Wow.
All are the fans of Club Africa now.
Okay, let's go.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Yalla, let's go.
الأمريكي